this is Chala Dincoy. Welcome to another episode of Polish My Pitch Deep Dive, where we get to talk to amazing guests about their amazing businesses. Today with me is Molly Trotter. Welcome, Molly.
Thank you, Chala. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, so I know what you do for a living, but why don't you tell our listeners, in case they didn't catch the one where we talked about your elevator pitch, about what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. So what I get to do is, when most people get into creating their business, they don't get into it to become an expert marketer. It's something actually most people really don't like to do. So what we get to do is come alongside coaches and consultants to really be able to see, okay, what are you best at and what can you hire out? So through leveraging our team, and we have that one-stop shop feel where you can get designers, videographers, photographers, copywriters, funnel builders, pretty much anything you need to build your business. You can come here and have us help you create that predictable lead flow that will be able to launch you into the multiple 6, 7, or even 8 figures, as some of our clients are. So we really get that enjoyment of educating people on that process and really leading them through that process, because marketing can be a very, kind of like slimy situation because people just want to make the sale. But we really come alongside people as if they're our own family to really just help them, excel in the way they want to, so they can make the impact that they want to. So I love what I do every day. I love to be able to be a part of this big team so everybody can stay in their zone of genius and really be able to deliver what they're best at.
That's amazing. So how did you even get into this?
Great question. So my background actually was in television. I was a news anchor and reporter for about 5 years. And I got into that to tell people stories. And we all turn on the TV now. It's just depressing. And so I found that out years ago. I'm like, I don't know if this is going to be my forever home. So in my early 20s, when I was doing that, that was when the rise of Instagram and Facebook and personal branding really started to come on the scene. And I loved it, fell in love with all of it. So I really learned how to create a strong personal brand of value, monetize that. So when I got out of the news, then people were asking naturally, hey, can you help me do this for myself or for my small business? And I was like, yeah, of course. So I had a business naturally build around that.
Wow.
But short time after that, I was like, there's so much more in the digital marketing space, branding and just marketing in general, that I wasn't good at and I didn't want to learn. So I'm like, how do I leverage myself and leverage other people that are what they're best at? So put that out in the universe. And what I got back is I was speaking at a social media conference and met my now business partner, Adam. And just the empathy and integrity that this man had really caught my attention, especially in the field of marketing, because it's not common. It should be, but it's not. And so I ripped off the Band-Aid, what I was doing, and just joined this collective, which basically the Dream Factory is a collective of 20 or so, as of right now, we're still growing, solopreneurs, where we all get to leverage each other's skill sets. So designers, videographers, funnel builders, so on and so forth. So now you have really high quality results because people are, in their like for specific zone, rather than somebody trying to wear a whole bunch of hats. So I love it. I love being able to connect with people on the level of they're literally bearing a little bit of their soul to you, of like, here's my pain points. This is what I went through. Here's what I want to help other people get through. And then just helping them get that out and be more visible for the people out there looking for them.
What was the biggest success story that still tugs at your heart, like that meant the most to you? Like we all have one. We all have that one client success that, you just, when you're in the dark by yourself at night, you think about to warm your heart.
Yeah, there was this gentleman named David, and David is a real estate investor, really smart guy, has already built wealth, but he's like, hey, I have a lot of knowledge and I need to be able to, monetize that a little bit more rather than just doing in-person events. So David's a little bit older of a gentleman, didn't know anything about the online space, barely had a Facebook, type of thing. And so he came to one of our events. I invited him to one of our events and then he started working with our team. And so we really were able to help him package on, okay, what does he want to offer? What's his messaging? What is that going to look like? And I remember talking with one of our launch coaches. I was working with David, and just my jaw hit the floor because he was saying, David's doing really, really well. We're packaging these, getting his packages together. And in 1 week, he was able to sell a $50,000 package and a $100,000 package, thanks to our team's help to really be able to get his information packaged the right way and put out there. And people were gobbling it up. So he made 6 figures in 1 week by selling 2 packages. And I just remember being like, oh my gosh, this is so crazy. And so if we were able to do that for David, and I believe he's I want to say maybe in his like late 60s, early 70s or something like that. Still going, still moving real strong. I was like, okay, David doesn't know anything about social media. He came in, trusted our team, was able in just 1 week made that. He's had a lot more success after that. But that's the one client that I'm just like, wow, blows all of our minds. And it's just so cool to watch.
So the client comes in with a problem, and then you pull in whatever doctor needs from your whole team of doctors, right? Like it depends on what the case needs, I guess, right? Is that how it works?
Great point. So how we see what's the problem on the market, for example. We've gone through a lot of different phases as a company. And right now, the biggest thing is a predictable lead flow. Like, where do I find that predictable lead flow? How do I get the right messaging to attract the right people? So we have different packages that we offer, like a done with you or a done for you, because we want to work with those people that understand, hey, I don't want to be an expert marketer. I don't want to do any of this because it's not my zone of genius. I want to hire out your team so then they can focus on A and B, and then we can help them do the rest when it comes to marketing and branding. So it's not like you can't come in and kind of pick and choose anymore. We had that like years ago, but then we just really found that specific niche of people who want to play a higher game, and to be able to hire our team. And so people like David that were like, I know absolutely nothing about the digital space, but I know my knowledge is powerful. How do I package that and really scale that in a big way?
So has predictable lead generation changed after COVID?
It has, in the sense that you have to be, because if you think of it like this, like everybody got shoved online, right? It has, in the sense that you have to be really, crystal clear in your messaging, for example, and like, okay, here's what I offer, because there are actually a lot of people out there looking for certain types of guidance, coaching, but they're so bombarded because the online space is so noisy, as I like to call it. You got opinions and politics and this and that and the other thing, and then people doing business wrong, and it's just a big pitch fest, and they're not putting value out there. So it has changed in how you have to show up on social media with your personal branding, the value that you put out there. And then, Facebook is always, people that want to do ads, Facebook is always changing that. So we always have to make sure that we're on top of that to make sure that it's in compliance, and that people are, doing it right. So it has changed a little bit, but the biggest thing is that it's just noisier because everybody's online. And then you got a lot of people that are, just adding a lot of pointless noise. And so it can be a little difficult that way. But when you have the right, surgeon, so you can really get in there and pierce through the noise, it makes all the difference.
That's true. So has your business blown up because of COVID? Like, so many more people want your help with lead gen and especially digital?
Yes. So we're very grateful. We actually, in May of this year, we had a retreat. So right in the middle of the pandemic, when everyone's like, stay home, don't go anywhere, stop breathing, like you might catch it. We went on a team retreat, and a couple of us were in this house, and we always go through, okay, what is best for our clients? What's working, what's not? That retreat was one of the most pivotal moments. Because of that retreat, we've actually our team has tripled in size, and our company revenue has tripled in size because of that. And so it's been a huge blessing for us. And really, we just want to be of service and answer a problem. So that predictable lead flow, we're seeing that people just need that more and more, because referrals are great, but those dry up and they're not predictable. You never know when they're going to come through. So the pandemic has really shaken a lot of people up to be like, what matters? What doesn't? What are you doing? And, there's people that are still out there. They still have money. They need help. They need support. You just got to be the one that's visible enough for them to see it.
I love it. I love it. So, I hear from so many people that they're a digital agency. Honestly, if they know how to do Facebook posts, they call themselves a digital agency. What differentiates you guys?
I love this question, because the biggest thing that I see is you get a lot of people that wear a bunch of hats, but we have that visibility where we'll show you like, hey, here's our whole team. We have 20 different people. Here's their zone of genius. You can see from case studies and testimonials on our website, or even ones that we bring on to calls, just the level of results you can't really get out of somebody who's wearing multiple hats. So that's one piece. But the biggest piece that I'm seeing across the board is the education that we give up front. So we actually will take people through what's called a blueprint call before they ever become a client with us. Any money's laid down, and it's by referral only. So somebody's that's serious about building their business, that wants a team. What does that look like? Of course, people are skeptical. So what we did as a company is we put together this blueprint call where it goes over a couple of things. What do you have in place right now? The vision on where you want to go this time next year, and maybe the next couple of years. And then the third piece is the education factor. What is that going to look like time-wise, price-wise, and effort-wise to get that done? So now you have a foundation to be like, I want to keep doing what I'm doing over here, or I want to work with your team because I don't want to touch marketing with a 10-foot pole. It's not my thing. We get people that are both. And that helps us not waste time with them, vice versa, if we're not a good fit. But people feel that deeper connection instantly when we take that time, because that call could be 30 to 45 minutes that we're giving just to let them know, hey, we're in it for the long haul. We're in it with you to lead you through it rather than to just make a sale. I haven't seen a lot of people have that model, especially in marketing. I haven't really seen anybody. And so that I know sets us apart. To really be able to show people where we're at and how we can support them.
I love that. That does sound like a very polished process. It's like you've branded it, you've established it. It's your sort of onboarding as well as kind of your sell. Because if somebody is so serious about working with you, and then you show up as that serious that it has a process and a name and a team dedicated to helping them succeed, makes it so much seamless, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It takes a lot of that worry that's in there with like, am I making the right choice? What are we doing? Because we're not the cheapest, but we're not the most expensive. But, as I mentioned about David, our results, we've had other people that have had really great results. We've helped dozens of coaches in our last 7 years have 5-figure launches working with our team for their existing product or new product or service, I should say, not product. Within their first 30 to 60 days. A lot of those are within the first 30. And so that right there, you just got a team that knows what they're doing, but anybody can promise you a big promise and then they don't pull through. I think we've all had that happen. I know I've been burned before. So we didn't like the feeling. Nobody does. So the only way we could figure out how do we show people that we're not those types of people of trying to burn them is that call. So it just really builds that relationship, rapport, and then professionalism that we're here. We're here to play a big game with you.
And I'm asking this for my own benefit because I'm always doing live launches. What was the shortest time in which you did an online launch that was successful?
For like start to finish?
Yeah.
Start to finish. Because there's so many different factors. You got people that are really on it and they show up every time. You got people, this like schedules happen, family happens, life happens. So typically for a launch to get in to start working with our team to launch a product. I've seen it in 3 to 4 months, people that are really on it to really get that going and be able to figure out, okay, here's what you have. This is what you want to do. And our goal is always to have, a big launch, a 5-figure launch is like, that is our goal. Like we want to be able to get you there, if not more, right? So I would say start to finish to get everything created. If people are really on it and dedicated to making this happen, you could probably do it in 3 to 4 months. But it's tough to say just because there's a lot of factors that play into people's lives and setbacks and things like that. Yeah, we've seen that. And it's exciting for us too. At the end of the day, we're like, yes, we got connected with this coach. Awesome. Thank you to whoever connected us to that person. And then that ripple effect is what we look at is you help that one coach. Now you got that one coach, all their clients' families, their friends, their communities. And we really love looking, deeper into that because it's big.
Yeah. So, we talked about the client that makes you feel warm inside, but talk to me about the hardest challenge that you've helped a client overcome, and what the results were like. And maybe it was during COVID.
Yeah, we've actually had a lot because we've brought on so many new clients during COVID. I know our team has like a whole bank of other testimonials that we haven't even been downloaded with yet. So we actually have another retreat that's coming up here in a couple of weeks where we get downloaded with all of this, that, and the other thing. So I'm excited to hear those because we've been so busy hiring and trying to take care of the client load that getting those kinds of testimonials have been kind of hard because we're just like, oh, we want to make sure the clients are happy and they're number one, they're first. Yeah. So the biggest thing I think in general is, you get people's mindsets. Can I do this? Can I not? Do they believe in us? People letting go of that power of like, hey, I can't release this, like I'm too nervous, but they're not good at it anyway. So you have to release it in order for this to happen. So the mindset's the biggest part. But I remember a client that we had that was a beauty life coach. It was a very interesting dynamic. And I'm like, I wonder how this is going to go. And so we ended up building her a funnel and helping her build a funnel to drive people into her program, because she does like hair and beauty, and then she did like, she has life coaching incorporated. It was so interesting. But she was actually one of our success stories within her first I think it was like her first like 29 days or something like that. She was able to bring in over $24,000 in new clients. And that one I was very interested on, because I was like, beauty life coach, like, how do you mix that? How do you get clarity on that? On this is what I offer, this is what I do. But she crushed it. She crushed it with our team, really being able to have that launch, have that clarity, and was able to bring in over $24,000, in her first month, which was really cool to watch. And she was ecstatic, she's like, I didn't know this could be me. And we're like, yeah,
Oh,
I mean, every situation is different, but she was just really dedicated. She was one of those that was very dedicated to making this happen.
oh, that's wonderful. Well, I mean, Molly, thanks for being here. Now, how could people reach you?
Yeah, thank you for having me, Chala. I think the best place for people to reach me, it's probably the easiest. I mean, you can find me at Molly_Trotter on Instagram. Social media is always easiest, so I don't have to like spell out my email here. So that's the easiest. Molly_Trotter on Instagram is probably going to be the easiest way you can find me. And on there, you'll be able to see the Dream Factory website, be able to check out more of the testimonials. It's right there on the front of my page. And then just message me and say that you found me, you heard me on this show with you, Chala. I'm happy to open up that conversation and just connect with great people.
That's wonderful. And we're going to give out all your links and all your information so that people can find you and work with you. I'm so happy that you came to visit us today. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Chala. I appreciate what you're doing. This is amazing. And I just really appreciate the time here.
Thank you.